It only took one moment, one small shift, and everything that felt certain collapsed. Not slowly, not gently, instantly. The courtroom didn't even realize what had just happened. But that moment changed the direction of everything. If stories like this pull you in, stay till the end. Because this one doesn't just twist, it rewrites everything you thought you understood. The trial had been moving smoothly. Too smoothly. Every piece of evidence aligned. Every witness told a story that fit neatly into place. Nothing resisted. Nothing contradicted. It felt complete. The kind of case people think is already decided before it ends. The accused stood quietly. Still. Watching. Listening. No reactions. No interruptions. Just waiting. That silence didn't seem important at first. But it lingered. Because most people fight when they feel cornered. This one didn't. The first witness spoke with confidence. Clear memory. Strong details. The kind that leaves no room for doubt. Every word reinforced the same direction. The same conclusion. The second witness followed. Different perspective. Same outcome. The courtroom leaned deeper into certainty. The narrative was strong, solid, convincing, and most importantly, unchallenged. That lack of resistance felt like confirmation, like proof. But sometimes, silence hides something else entirely. The prosecution presented the evidence. Organized. Precise. Everything labeled. Everything explained. Photos. Documents. Objects. Each one placed carefully into the story. Each one strengthening the same conclusion. Nothing felt out of place. Nothing felt questionable. And that was exactly the problem. Because real stories are rarely perfect. But this one was too perfect. The defense remained seated. Observant. Watching every detail without interruption. No objections. No urgency. Just patience. That patience started to feel intentional. Like they weren't trying to stop the story. They were waiting for it to finish building itself. The third witness stepped forward. Measured. Controlled. Their account matched everything before it. Every detail aligned. Every timeline matched. Nothing broke the pattern. The courtroom settled into quiet confidence. The kind that comes when people believe they understand everything. But understanding can be an illusion, especially when no one questions it. The air grew heavier, more final. The judge listened carefully. Composed. Nothing suggested doubt. Nothing suggested hesitation. The outcome felt close, almost inevitable. Then it happened. Not loudly, not dramatically. A small moment, easy to miss. The defense stood. Slowly, deliberately. The room shifted instantly, because silence breaking always means something. But what came next didn't feel like a challenge. It felt like a question. A simple one, directed at the witness. About timing. Not the main timeline. A smaller part. A detail that seemed unimportant. The witness answered quickly. Confident. Certain. The answer matched their earlier statement. Consistent. Strong. The defense nodded. Then asked again. Same question. Different angle. The answer came again. Still confident. Still certain. But something felt off. Not clearly. Not obviously. Just slightly. Like a rhythm that skipped for a second. The courtroom didn't react. But the air changed. Subtly. The defense didn't push. Didn't argue. Just returned to their seat. And that was it. Or at least, it seemed like it. The prosecution continued. Trying to maintain flow. Trying to keep momentum. But something had already shifted. That small moment lingered. Unexplained. Unresolved. The next witness stepped forward. Prepared. Their testimony followed the same structure. Same sequence. Same details, including that small part, that same timing, that same moment. Now it was reinforced, confirmed twice, stronger, more believable. But repetition doesn't always strengthen truth. Sometimes it exposes it. The defense stood again, this time more focused. They didn't ask many questions, just one, the same one, about that moment, that timing. The witness answered, confident, but slower, less natural. The defense nodded again, then did something unexpected. They walked toward the evidence, not the main pieces, not the important ones. Something smaller, something that had been there the entire time, unnoticed. They pointed at it, then looked back at the witness. The room followed their gaze. For the first time, people actually looked at that detail, not glanced, looked carefully. The defense said nothing. They didn't need to, because the problem was already forming. That detail didn't match the timing, not the way it had been described, not the way it had been repeated. It was small, but it mattered, because it affected everything around it. The sequence, the positioning, the possibility. The courtroom felt it, that quiet shift, that subtle discomfort. The prosecution moved quickly. They tried to explain, to adjust, to reinterpret, but the detail remained, unchanged, unmovable, and now undeniable. The defense stepped back, still calm, still controlled, letting the realization spread on its own. Because truth doesn't need volume, it just needs clarity. The judge leaned forward, focused, careful, looking at the detail again. Then the timeline, then the witnesses, and slowly, the problem became clear. That one moment, the one everyone agreed on, could not have happened the way they described. It wasn't a matter of doubt. It was a matter of impossibility. The timing didn't work. The positioning didn't align. The sequence didn't hold. And if that moment was wrong, then everything built around it was unstable. The entire case depended on it. Every witness referenced it. Every piece of evidence connected to it. And now it was broken. Not hidden. Not manipulated. Just misunderstood. Or worse, accepted without question. The courtroom fell into silence. Not dramatic. Not loud. Just heavy. Because everyone understood at the same time. That one moment had changed everything. The prosecution tried to recover. They restructured their argument. They shifted focus. But the damage was done. Because once certainty breaks, it doesn't come back the same way. The accused remained still. But now that stillness felt different. Not passive. Certain. Like someone who had been waiting for that exact moment. The moment everything turned. The judge reviewed the evidence again. Slower this time. More careful. Looking for what had been missed before. And finding more. Small inconsistencies. Tiny gaps. Things that didn't matter before. Now impossible to ignore. Because once you see one flaw, you start to see others. The case didn't collapse loudly. It unraveled quietly, piece by piece, until nothing held together anymore. And it all traced back to that one moment. That one question. That one detail. The one that didn't fit. The one that changed everything. In the end, it wasn't new evidence that shifted the case. It wasn't a surprise witness. It wasn't a dramatic confession. It was something small. Something simple. Something that had always been there. Waiting. For someone to notice. For someone to ask. For someone to see it for what it really was. And when they did, the direction of everything changed.